How you doing, YouTube family? Today is Wednesday, April the 2nd, 2025. It's your man Big D, and I'm back with another one. I want to thank all you good folk out there in YouTube land that continue to rock out with my son and I. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Well, family, back with another Kendra G special. And this time we got this brother by the name of Awesome that recently appeared on her show a few days ago. And the particular thing about this young man is that he's the father of a 9-month-year-old daughter that I guess he used to be a street dude and he was kicking it with this white chick, got her pregnant for whatever the reason he said. He got nothing against the his baby mama, the white chick, but he said that she is not, he's not gonna talk bad about her, but she just doing her thing. So basically, that tells me that she didn't want to be no baby mama. She didn't want to be no mama, basically. She had no problem doing the act that created the baby, but when it came up to providing and mothering the baby, she didn't want no parts of that. So we gotta give this brother his flowers because he stepped up to the plate, changed his life around, and came out the streets. And as a result of it, he got custody of his daughter. And you know what? Gotta give this man his flowers. So, family, he's back on her show again a second time. And as I said, since I've been looking at the Kendra G show, yeah, there are here and there are some okay women, decent women that I've some from what my observation I've seen came on that show, on her show that comes on her show is but few and far in between. So the odds of a decent man finding a decent woman on her show, man, it's gonna be looking like it's gonna be looking for like looking for a needle in a haystack. Because in mass, you see the women that come on her show, they have the a couple kids from Pookie and want you to take them on vacation every 90 days. And then when they get to the point that now she want to bring the children on the vacation, she willing to go half with you to pay for to take care of the children that ain't yours. So when you have women come on her show with these crazy ass requests, you have to ask yourself as a man, do I really want to sign up for this app, pay my monies and whatnot? Because it seems like it's a whole bunch of bullshit from what I'm seeing coming on her show. But let's go ahead and check out this good brother as he appeared again the second time. And let me say this. The majority of what he's saying is factual, and I agree with him. Don't ain't got no problem with it.
But we got a lot of questions because you
Okay.
saw the comment section. I'm quite sure of it.
Well, I saw a little bit of it. I don't particularly pay too much attention, but
Okay, well, I
if
got
you
some
mind.
questions
Okay.
that people had. If you didn't see Awesome's first video, go and
Okay.
watch it. But let
So
me
you
get to some questions.
okay.
He's holding a 9-month-old baby. I'll do a minor recap. This is 9-month-old daughter. He's looking for a black woman who
Mhm,
has no kids. That's not an option for him. Have to be willing to have kids. Be a mother to his child.
mhm.
Do not eat your steak medium well. That is not. It shows you don't know how to act, child. Be open minded to the steak that he's going to order for you because he orders for his woman. He's not
Sure.
negotiating that. Get with the program or get lost. Is that right?
Yes. So far, basically.
Well, let me
Yes.
ask you a couple things. Are
Okay.
you calling me from a shelter?
Yes. Let me say this. First of all, Kendra, how do you like the suit? I came on here looking like a Reese cup. Figure one of these sisters might want to. Well, I gotta keep remember I got my daughter here. So that's number one. So I hope I
No, no,
hope I
no.
hope
Let's no.
everybody
Let's start
okay.
with number one.
Yeah.
Okay, because I never did a reaction video to my show, but you
Yes.
had me do a reaction video to your
Yes.
video. And one
Yes.
thing I said,
Uh-huh.
men with money talk the way you talk. Now,
Yes.
you got to have money to talk the way you talk, awesome. You can't be
Okay.
living in a shelter and
All right.
making those demands.
Yeah. Okay. Now, are you
Listen, I'm gonna have to keep it a buck. Although I agree with what his expectations are of the lady that he wants to date and provide for and protect and to, help raise his daughter. Those are his expectations. But I don't necessarily have a problem with them. But the problem is this: you don't have the resources to demand that. And there's no shot against him. I understand that I think he works at a pizza joint, and that's nothing wrong with it. I used to work at a pizza joint back in the day when I was a young kid. But, you know, the minute you told her that you affirmed that you was calling in from a shelter, man, you already know them women over there, the cousins, as she calls them, man, they over there in the comment section, and they are flaming this brother. But, you know, what can you expect from, I'm not gonna say all, but the majority of the women that feed into the nonsense?
finished? May I speak?
I'm not finished, but you can
Okay.
speak.
Well, go ahead. Go ahead. I
No,
want to
no,
give
I
you
mean,
a
we're going to be having
resource.
a dialogue. Go ahead.
Okay. Number one, I can because I did. That's number one. Number two, I always been like this. I don't let money make me. Let me say something, Kendra. Let's just get right down to the root of the issue. The root of the issue is that a lot of black women just don't like black men. They don't respect black men. That's the core of the issue. I don't deal with symptoms, I deal with the cause. You don't like black men, so you don't respect black men. So, whatever you always want to come, if I were white and doing the very same thing, taking care of my daughter, women would say, what a great guy he is. They would say, look at him. Look at why this white man doing this, but black men don't take care of their children. Let me give you a little bit of my backstory.
So I would have to agree with him a little bit. Now, I don't know about the whole if the white man was doing it, because man, I'm gonna be honest with you, the way it's going now, and the way that men are getting effed over in family court, man, hey, I be hearing some white baby mamas calling they white baby dad is Dusty's. So now I can't necessarily agree with you on that one, but at the same time, I applaud the fact that he has custody of his daughter and he's doing whatever it takes to provide for her. And I think he has another daughter that's like 26 years old. And they kind of speak on that later on in the video, but you got to give it you got to give him props on that. But when he said that black women don't respect black men, I will have to agree with that. And I'm not gonna say, every black woman has an issue with all black men, but in large, you know, most black women do not respect, the average black man on average, but on average. But now you gotta, like he said, you gotta look at the you don't look at the symptoms, you look at okay, what's the fix? Well, here's the thing: not being able, not having resources, a woman ain't never gonna respect you. I don't care. I mean, especially a woman in the West. Maybe if you was, some woman cross the water, but listen, I done traveled the world, and all the women are getting hip to it. All the women expect a man that's got resources. It don't matter if it's in this country. You can go over to Germany. You can go over to when I was in Macedonia, you can go over to Italy. Listen, it's everywhere. So it ain't it might be a lot more, in front of us in America because we got internet, we got Instagram, we got TikTok, we got all this stuff where women are basically sexualizing themselves, but as soon as a man feed into it and they don't want the attention from that particular man, oh, now it's the Me Too movement. But I agree with him when he say that on in large, black women don't respect black men, but you not having no resources, they definitely ain't gonna respect you. That's just what it is. I know he gonna say that, money don't make the man make the money. I agree with that 150%. But what that means is that at some point you got to get your resources up. And once you get your resources up and you in a good place financially, you don't walk around here like an a-hole. You don't walk around here because you got a couple coins in your pocket thinking that you better than everybody else, especially if you got it out the mud.
story. I literally left the streets to take care of her. CPS tried to take her from me 4 different times. CPS called me today to try to take my daughter from me. I have to do certain things and and go through certain protocols in order to make sure she's safe. So let me say this. Number one, yes, I did work at Popeyes. I did a video on that on my channel. I will I did that. I'm not going to promote it here. If you found it, you know it. You can see it. It was as proud as I've ever been of myself. I picked up trash. Shout out to Shanice Green who hired me. I made $12 an hour picking up trash at Popeyes. Shout out to the people that work these fast food jobs and that keep this country going. There people are not better than them, and so I want to thank them. I learned a lot about myself doing it. It was it was challenging.
Kendra, you ain't
I
trying to hear
pushed
that
myself
BS.
because I had to figure out a
In
way to
her
keep
mind,
milk
it's
in my daughter's
BS.
stomach
I'm
to
not
keep her
saying
out
it's
the
BS,
system.
but
So to these people,
I'm not saying it's BS. But by the time the words leave his leave his lips, by the time we get to Kendra G ears, all she hearing is blah 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 BS bullshit. This motherfucker on here talking like he a high value man living in a shelter. That's what she hearing. That's the translation.
who have a problem with that, you know what you can do and you know where you can go. I've never run or ran from my past, who I am. I'm a man, I stand tall about it all. Money never made me, it never broke me, and I don't give a blank what these silly people in your comments say. These silly hood rat broads with these tattoos on their neck. You don't qualify. I don't care about your BBL. Yeah, I don't like that neither. You for recreational use, baby. And for you sucker black men who wear tight chains, you should be, if you're gonna wear a gold chain, lame, it should be at least 26 inches. For real, for real. If you're gonna wear a gold chain, it should be at least 26 inches. To you suckers who wear bonnets, to you suckers who go outside in Crocs, to you black men who text the letter K, you a coward and you weak and you don't have the ability to stand like I stand in the face of fire.
Okay, let
You
me.
couldn't do
Okay,
what I do.
See, here's the thing. I mean, I hear what he's saying, but the fact that he in a shelter and he working at a pizza joint, the women are not gonna take him seriously. And all the women that he said that he don't, the BBLs, when you go out, women that go outside in Crocs, the neck tattoos, all the things he said that he didn't like and he didn't want in a woman. My good man, did you not like research her show before you kind of like went on? Did you not like see like the majority of the women that come on her show? They fit the very description of the very thing that you said that you don't want no parts of. So I just don't, I'm kind of confused as to why you are here and you're still here. Now, I'm not saying that by and large there have not been no, at least a sprinkle here and there of what appeared to be decent women that came on her show. And what I mean by decent, they're not too delusional. Um, they willing to work with the man. I've heard some say they okay with the 50-50. You know, One some don't have kids, some may have one kid, but they seem like they have the ability to be amicable. But in mass, that's not the kind of woman that come on the show with the crazy thoughts and the crazy wants and needs of wanting this. They have grander of, I deserve a high value man, when really and truly, ma'am, no, you don't. You don't. You really and truly, you probably don't deserve nothing but a guy who a couple notches above a Pookie, that got at least a decent job making 35, $40,000 a year. That's probably what you deserve. You and your three kids.
Right now, let me just jump in, awesome, because I wanna give you a chance to talk, and you'll give me the same respect. I
Salute.
think we did a really good job of that in our first video.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, Now a couple of things. Now you
Okay.
you are very boisterous and you have a lot of things to say, but not saying that. Listen, life happens to all of us,
Hmm.
and you could be in a high rise one day and be in a shelter the next day, and that's
Hmm.
fair. So no judgment of where you are in life and trying to become a better
Hmm.
man, but you are doing a lot of judgment to
Hmm.
people when at this moment you don't even have a foundation. You don't even have a home.
Hmm.
And one would say this is a moment in life where maybe dating shouldn't be your focus because you're requesting a very classy, beautiful black woman
Hmm.
who has no kids
Yes.
to come along and join you in this moment in life. Why would a woman that you describe sign up for a man that's in a shelter? I'm just
Listen, I'm gonna have to agree with Kendra G on this one. I gotta call a spade a spade and a ball. I gotta agree with her on this one. A woman that has no kids, that's fit, feminine, and submissive, that is there to be a helpmate, no kids, is a plus. Man, brother, I'm gonna have to keep it. I'm gonna have to keep it 100. I just don't know that that kind of woman is going to be willing to follow you. Yeah, you got a good talk game, but brother, I will have to think that at this stage of the ball game, dating is probably not something that you should be focused on. Yeah, if you can holler at a little honey, whatnot here and there, just don't get any more kids. But I would say you would I don't know how old he is. I would probably say he probably in his, I don't know, maybe like maybe 30s or something like that. But at this point, man, you kind of behind the power curve because, like I said, men start round, once they hit 50s, man, they pretty much there. You know what I'm saying? They ain't going that much higher as far as when you start talking about the in the wealth category. But man, so from your 20s on up to your 30s and 40s, man, you got to be grinding. And seeing as how that you've not put yourself in that position, you start behind, man, you man, it's like, man, you down like five touchdowns, and we in the third quarter. So at this stage, I don't know if dating, especially dating women on her show, is the most valuable thing for you right now.
being honest. And also, not even just a man that's been in the shelter. We understand that you are changing your life around, but you also did
Yes.
16 years, according to us,
Yes.
and in jail.
Hmm.
You have a child, a 9-month-old baby. We don't know all the ins and outs, but we
Hmm.
know that a woman had a baby 9 months ago that is no longer taking care of the child. So that's a little crazy.
Okay.
Um, there's just a lot of things questionable about you, and you are asking for an elite black woman to sign up. So why would she do that?
Yeah, I'm not asking anything. It's what's gonna happen. She probably already found me, and I'm very interested in one young lady. Shout out to you, baby. And so that's that. There's that. I may have already found her. That's neither here nor there at this point. We'll see. The tr-
See, I mean, I hear what he's saying, and maybe some girl reached out to him on the Kendra G app, and I'm not saying that they're not out there, but one would have to question. And it's no, listen, it's no throwing no shots at this good brother. because I believe that in his heart of hearts that he wants to do the right thing, especially now that he has his youngest daughter. But the problem is that man finding out he spent 16 years in prison, and man, you a convicted felon. I'm gonna be honest with you, it is gonna be very, very difficult to get past that. Man, let me tell you, I know people who squeaky clean and barely made it to retirement. So, I have family members that are convicted felons, and let me tell you, life ain't easy for them. So I just don't know when he say he might have already found a woman. I just don't. I would have to. It begs the question that what woman is going to follow him, and he living in a shelter and he work at a pizza joint. What well-to-do woman that's got her ish together is going to follow him? Nothing, no digs against him. No digs against him. But I would have to say, if a female family member came to me and they was dating him, they asked me, hey, this is his situation, whatnot, whatnot. But he a nice guy, he a smooth talker, he a hard worker. I'm gonna be honest with you. Um, his past don't have nothing depending on what crimes he committed, because certain crimes I'm not no, you're not gonna date my female family member. I don't it's non-negotiable as far as I'm concerned. You ain't the one. But if it's something, depending on the crime, okay, if he done his time and he don't pay this debt back to society, that's one thing. But when you factor in that, okay, he working at a pizza joint, he living in a shelter. Okay, what can you do for my family member, my female family member? Because remember, a man role is to provide and protect. Okay, well, you might can protect, but how can you provide? That's the question. So when he say there's chicks hitting him up, I'm asking like, well, what type of chicks really hitting you up?
Truth of the matter is this: because I'm a man, and because I'm not you, and I'm not them cornballs in your comments. So that's why I'm a man who has done things that most of these people could never do, that most of these things could never be. Let me say
What do you
this.
mean when you say you're not me, as in you're not a woman?
Yes, I'm not a woman. Let me let
Okay.
me let me listen. There was they said that I was lying. There were people. I'm gonna go through some things systematically. So just go through some facts. Hold on. Oh my bad. I was looking for this. So they said that I heard in the comments that I didn't have a passport, and I was just lying.
Don't show your passport on a nationwide show, on
Oh, don't
international.
worry about it. I ain't slow
You
like
should
that.
have.
There you go.
Okay, awesome.
Okay.
These aren't the things that.
No, I want to, but can you allow me to cook Kendra for a second, please? Because
Go ahead. Go
people,
ahead.
they didn't have a problem dragging me, and I don't have a problem with that, right? Because one thing about me, I can take the smoke. My shoulders been big my whole life.
But brother, you got to understand when you came on this show, you should have known with the request that your expectation of a woman coming on this show, and you not in a position. Listen, women that come on her show already want a man who's 6 feet, 6 pack, got like 12 inches of wood, and they got to be making well over six figures. So and even then, men like that still have it hard. So, my good sir, I don't know how you think, based on your conditions, that you you expected a different result, especially with the women on her platform that go to that's on her dating app. Like I said, I'm not gonna say that all the women, but you know, I've only seen a few that appeared to be decent.
I I'm a man who don't allow nobody to tell me nothing. I have stood tall, and I'm gonna get what I want because I deemed it so. And so when people can't understand that, I know they can't understand that because they don't know what it is to stand in the face of adversity and to see things through and to come out on the other end. See, a lot of these people, they, we get caught up in groupthink. You know what I mean? Like groupthink is really is really huge. If you can't see past my current circumstance, it, like I said, if I have to tell you, then I ain't for you. Because any woman who can literally see the way I move, the way I talk, the way I dress, you can.
But see, here's the thing though. Okay, so and I'm using the analogy of he done stepped to somebody, a female family member in my family. All that sound good and dandy. I'm glad you got a passport. I mean, you know, I know that he was trying to prove a point that some people said you ain't been nowhere because I guess he said he traveled to been to a few countries and which I don't know why having a passport is a bit flex. I mean, most people been in the military, been had them, but nevertheless, I just the fact is that if you as a man, you can have all the dreams and ambitions in the world, but if you have not put yourself in a good position in life to accomplish these dreams and these goals, well then your expectation, it may not at some point you might just be delusional. And I'm looking at it from this perspective. Man, I know people, I look at it, I see it in very different categories and different spectrums. Most people I know, they got it, they got in the career field, they got in their career field and they went up through the ranks and they retired. They got a good retirement, good pension. Then I've also seen the ones who, they was entrepreneurs. They had their own businesses, and the businesses are pretty profitable. But the thing about a business is that most of the times of the business owners that I saw, that I personally know, they work harder than their damn employees. Their employees be slacking off and fucking off, and the business owner out there are working harder than them. So as a business owner, man, you gotta understand. I got a cousin that own a business down here, and you know, it's a detailing shop, but he do more than just detailing. He rims, paint jobs. They do auto mechanic work. They do everything. It's a one stop shop. But I remember when it used to just be a detailing shop. And he had to diversify because down here in Florida, you have a lot of rainy days. So you better do more than just having a just washing cars and detailing them because when the rainy day come, you better be able to offer another service. But to make a long story short, it's either career field or entrepreneur. An entrepreneur, man, that don't always work out. So I just don't understand how this man is saying I'm for the positive words of affirmation. He trying to manifest, he trying to speak it into existence. But sometimes when you have put yourself behind the eight ball, like 16 years of prison, and you are a convicted felon, a multi-convicted felon, I just don't know, other than winning the Powerball, because the career part is out. Because I don't know no decent job that's gonna hire him. So now he either gonna have to be an entrepreneur or he gonna have to win the damn Powerball. He either gonna have to be a hell of an entrepreneur or he gonna have to win the Powerball, especially at his age. If not, listen, you can speak it into existence all you want. You can manifest it all you want, but you had better have something besides words of affirmation because it will never come into fruition. Words alone don't get it done.
You see, this guy is not. He's different, right? And I'm gonna tell you something, Kendra. And it's there was one show I remember. Black women are the only women that let their best men go to other races of women. They're
Wait,
the
hold on.
only.
Okay, no, I do. Okay, I do want to honor you to speak, but this is something I wanted to respond to earlier because
Okay.
you said earlier
Yes.
about black women don't like black men. Here's the
Yes.
deal. I, as a black woman,
Respect.
that's not. Hold on. So
I
I'm gonna
said
let you
respect,
continue.
Kendra.
Say it again.
I said respect.
Oh, respect. Okay.
Yes.
Well, right now you're about to say we let black men go. Here's the deal.
Hmm.
Black women don't want to feel like they're working for a slave master.
Okay.
And what happens is a lot of men, you guys come in with a dictatorship
Yes.
that women just can't get with. And if a
Hmm.
woman is not necessarily, relying on you for your money,
Hmm.
there's really no reason for her to feel like she now has a slave master. So
Okay.
I don't think it's fair to say
Hmm.
that black women don't respect black men.
Yes.
I think black men at times, and,
Hmm.
and this is not an overall, because there's plenty of black men who respect black women, and there's
Okay.
also plenty of black women that respect black men.
Hmm.
But I feel as though there are times when black men don't respect black women.
Hmm.
Something you said in the last video that I totally missed it,
Hmm.
during the interview, when you said, there was no pretty black women in West Virginia.
Yes.
Therefore, you have a baby by a white woman, but now you want a black woman to raise this child. That was disrespectful to black women by just saying that in the whole state there was no beautiful black women, so you had to procreate with a white woman, and now
Hmm.
you want a black woman to raise your child. How are you respecting black women with that statement?
Kendra, even though I let me say this. How can I say this? I gotta remember. So I got her right here. Okay, because she's woke. Okay. Here's the thing. I adore no matter how many black women don't like me for whatever reason. I still adore them. I don't. I've always seen myself being with a black woman. I could have any race of women I want. That's not the issue. But I specifically prefer my own people. That's just simple as that. Now, I I could be like other men who think that other women of race or of another race are better. However, I don't. I specifically prefer my own. And if that's a bad thing, I guess I can take that. But I'll accept that graciously, knowing that I don't see it that way.
The problem is that you had a baby from a white chick. That's how sisters gonna look at it, and that's what their focus is going to be on. And then they gonna look at the fact of, okay, you work at a pizza joint and you living in a shelter, and you got a 9-month-old. Man, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Sisters, man, they can be kind of harsh sometimes. So you gotta have. That's why I tell you, fellas, you gotta have your ish in order, because if you don't have no resources, I'm telling you, you gotta have some form or some type of resources. And the more resources you can have, the better position that you're gonna be in. Not just with women per se, because it's not about a woman. It's about making sure that your future is solidified. This brother, in my opinion, should not be worried about no dating right now. He need to be focused on getting his pockets on as swole as he can get them, and I just don't know if he can do that working at a pizza joint. But I also understand a low paying job is better than a no paying job.
I
Well, that's
still
what you
want to be
said, though. I'm,
with a
I'm just
black
reading
woman.
what you said. You
No, I
said
said that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
you said when you were in West Virginia,
There were yeah,
there
there
were
were there
no
were, there were
pretty.
very few. Yes, there were very few, if any. You know what I'm saying? Especially with bottom line is my daughter's here. I'm not trying to push my daughter. I'm glad she's here. And I love my daughter and I wouldn't change anything about her, not even a mother, because it meant to be, it was what it was. It is what a man makes it, right? So it's up to me to make the most of it or to fold under pressure.
Well, I kind of disagree with you on that one, brother, because man, they got a multitude of forms of birth control and contraceptives. So no, that was just somebody being reckless. I don't know if it was you being reckless, her being reckless, or both of y'all being reckless, but it sound like your baby mama was just one of them white girls who, you know what I'm saying, she's just one of them nasty ones. She was just trying to get it in. And she didn't, hey, you wanna wear, I take it whichever way you want to get it to. I prefer meat to meat, but if you wanna, you know what I'm saying, put a barrier on, I'm cool with that too. My man, Awesome just chose to run up in it raw. That's just what it is. So I'm not gonna sit up and say, oh, yeah, be glad that your daughter's here now, but to say this was in the grand scheme of things, nah. The creator didn't want that, because now this poor child, man, she behind the 8 ball.
I didn't fold. And so that's the bottom line here. So I could come up. I said previously that the sister asked me a question. I said, yeah, I threw my Johnson on the table and I was doing too much, and I owned it. But what I'm not gonna do is continue to qualify what people think they're silly, petty opinions because they feel like here's the thing, and I didn't get a chance to finish this earlier. There was a guy on the Pop the Balloon show one time, Kendra, and he was a young black man, and he was going to be an aerospace engineer, and I would never forget him. And he was an aerospace engineer. He also had a half part business in a startup company. Black women popped on him because of his outfit. Kendra, his outfit. Now that same man, when he's rich in 15 years, black women will say, "Where is your sister?" You see the hypocrisy and the phoniness, and that's why it's all silly to me. And that's why I have no respect.
I
You
can
can't take
co-sign
these
that.
people
I can agree
seriously.
with
I
that.
don't take the comments seriously. I want to shout out the black men and the
Hold
black
on,
sisters
can
that
I want to
reached
jump
out.
in because I do want to
Okay.
dialogue, but you got to let me respond to some things.
Yes, I
Now, the
apologize because I,
example.
I got to get a lot of stuff out.
Okay,
Go
well,
ahead.
you can after I say what I gotta say.
Okay.
For what you just said, respectfully, so I agree with that guy being prejudged by women. I didn't watch this episode, so I'm just taking your words for it.
Yes,
But if what you are saying is true about that episode,
I never
I
lied.
agree with it. But now I want to say you are not that man. You guys do not have
Okay.
the same resume. You are a
Hmm.
man that has two baby mamas that you did not marry. You were once in the
Yes.
street. You did at least 16 years in
Yes.
prison. Why do you feel as though you're one of our elite black men with the resume that you currently have?
Should
Why would
Bingo. And what Kendra just said is what I would say 90% of black women gonna say. That's exactly what they gonna say. They gonna be like, well, at least that young brother on the Pop the Balloon show, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's just how black women are. He ain't got that swag and he ain't dressed a certain kind of way, he disqualified. But then as soon as he, run up that bag of money, then they gonna be, at the finish line trying to scoop him up when they didn't want him when they was younger, when they should have got been dating him. But the problem is that so your resume don't look like that brothers that was on the Pop the Balloon show. Y'all are in two totally different dimensions. So you really can't make a real comparisons because I'm gonna be honest with you, brother. Everything you saying, I don't have no problem with. My only contention is that black women are not going to submit to a dude. Black women in mass is not going to submit to a dude that at least ain't got no decent ability to provide. Their provisions ain't on par. I'm just telling you, that's just what you're dealing with in the West.
you deem yourself to be in the category of the guy you just described? You
Great
are not
question.
equal.
Great question. I think that brother's great. I think that young brother is great, and I wish him all the success and the prosperity in the world. I want to say something, Kendra. I never once called myself a high value man. I never once. I don't subscribe to any titles other than being a man. Period. End of story. So I don't care about titles. None of that matters to me. I know when you step to me, I know what it is, and if you don't, you'll learn. And I know that the woman that's with me, I protect, I care for. I'm not of only a fool is provoked by insolent speech. A wise man laugheth in scorn. So that's why this comments, these people, these silly people in these chats don't move me. I respect the people that did reach out to me, the people that reached out on me on Facebook. Shout out to those people. And just it's just to send a kind word. But I'm a man who can take the fire because I've always been in the fire. And I'm saying what I want. I stand tall and I'm gonna get it. And whether anybody likes it or dislikes it, then that's something that they'll have to deal with. But that would be my response to that.
Okay, but okay, because I wanted you to finish this. The reason I said
Go ahead.
that is you were going on a line of saying black women let their best black men go to other races.
Yes. Oh,
So
yes. Oh,
okay,
got you, got you.
okay, yeah.
I
So that's what
understand.
you said. So do you consider
Yes.
yourself to be one of our top black men?
I'm a great black man. I'm a great
So
black man.
so are
Let
you
me let
saying
me say
that?
this
Okay.
because because what happens is with most people, Kendra, you can't see past what's right in front of you. See, this is the problem with most of these people. They fickle and stupid. They don't have the ability to see past what's right in front of them. They see certain things. They see some pseudo masculine guy with moissanite diamonds and they think he's rich. You see some guy walking around, you know what I mean, in penny loafers, you think he's poor. See, everything is visual with a lot of our people. That's why we're so easily manipulated and controlled because everything is visual, it's visceral, it's emotional. I don't move like that. And there's a lot of our people that don't think that way either. The people that reached out to me, the women that reached out to me, they adored me. They adored to see a black man stand tall and to call it like he saw it, regardless to the storm. You see, this
But my only contention is this: them women may have reached out to you, and I give you your flowers when it comes to what you're trying to do for your daughter. But just cause they reaching out don't mean they trying to holler at you. Cause I'm still rocking with the women in this country are not getting with no man that cannot provide at least a little something. Man, you got women that don't even want to go 50-50. And you talking about you the woman that he describing that he requires and that he is going to get, man, I just don't know if that's realistic. I just don't know. I just think I, I think I guess like they say, if you aim for the moon, you bound to hit a star.
country, Kendra, really wants to push black masculinity down. And I told you at the beginning of my interview that besides my daughters, my priority was the masculinity, upliftment, and self esteem of black men. It's always been that way because that's how you build communities with strong men, not strong women. Nobody cares about no boss broad. And a lot of these broads don't even look that pretty without their wigs and their face paint. This ain't no shot to you, Kendra. I'm talking to them. Let's see you without that wig and spray your face and let's see what you look like. You see, Kendra, they're phony. They hide behind things. I'm not hiding behind nothing.
Bro, I'm gonna be honest with you, Kendra don't like that shit because the exact same woman that he said he don't want with the face paint, the lace front wigs, that's the host, that's the hostess. That's the proprietor of this company, the Kendra G Singles. So and the sad thing is you on a dating app where the majority of the women that's what you just described you don't want, that's the majority of the women. So, brother, I don't know, man. It's just I just don't know how you think your outcome is gonna be a good one.
Yes, I worked at Papa. Yes, I've been in the streets. Yes, I've done a lot of things I'm not proud of. I should be dead or doing life, but I'm not, thank the creator. I'm over here raising her.
So awesome. Why are you in a shelter? Why don't you have the ability to have your own home?
I, I can't get into that. I
Well, you're
can't get
on an
into that.
international show, and we've already.
Well, like I said, I cannot. I put like this. I won't be here that much longer. Simple as
Okay.
that. I explained a little bit
Do
of
you
it in
have
the
do
beginning.
you have outside money, outside of making outside the pizza shop?
No.
And I also want to say this to the boss chick
Yes.
comment because I consider myself to be a successful black woman, and I hear that a lot from men. But guess
Yes.
what? No one really knew you until you came on a show created by a boss chick. Like you said earlier, you get women.
Now, Kendra, it's not that men have a problem with boss chicks. We have a problem with what comes with the boss chick, like that boss chick ass attitude, that boss chick ass mentality. Okay, kudos to you that you making your money, but that don't mean that you and I stand in the same shoes. That don't mean me and you stand in the same light because as a man, I don't care about your money. That's your money. Your money ain't gonna benefit me. So, men just don't want to hear about me, my career, this, that, this, and that. Men just don't need to hear it. Okay, you got your little gig going, you making your little money. That's cool. But when you got to just keep bringing it up and you gotta have this nasty ass attitude like the world revolves around you because you got a little career or you got a little bit of money. That's what men don't like about that whole boss chick mentality. The fact that you successfully making money, oh hell, man, I adore that. I just don't need the attitude that come along with that.
You don't need me, but yet, in order to get the attention that you are receiving right now,
Mhm.
it's by a woman's platform that created the show. And I want to piggyback to all the other
Mhm.
men that feel that way, but yet still take content from a
Mhm.
woman's show that they
Mhm.
created. So y'all should not say that. Y'all
Okay.
actually should be thankful for all the boss chicks, because what else would y'all be talking about?
Well, first of all, Kendra, um, that's another thing, that masculine ass attitude, because what goes along with a boss chick more times than not is that masculine ass attitude. And that's what men just don't, that's what they don't want any parts of. It has nothing to do with your success. Second of all, the content creators are making content. It ain't got nothing to do with you per se, Kendra. It's got to do with these delusional ass women that comes on your show that have these wild ass expectations. And instead of you checking them sisters, like that one sister that came on that had them 3 kids that was built like some damn chopsticks, had big ass hands, and talking about a man gotta take her on vacation every 90 days. Man, come on. And instead of you saying, hey sister, we gotta be realistic here. You got 3 kids, you don't procreated with them little pookies and whatnot. You probably need to bring down your expectations because you've been a little crazed. But no, she won't say that because she just want to keep and I get it, you know what I'm saying? She want to keep the people on the app. That's how she making up monies and shit. And I get it. Hey, that's her gig. I ain't gonna hate on how she get her monies, but the content creators is creating content and commenting on these delusional ass women that come over on your show. Ain't necessarily got nothing to do with you, Kendra. But them crazy ass women that come on your show with them crazy ass expectations and you don't hold them to standard, well, that's why people commenting on your show. That's why they doing it, creating comment and whatnot.
This is how y'all make y'all living. This is how y'all create y'all name, by talking about women that I believe, to be quite honest,
Uh-huh.
some men are jealous of, because
Okay.
this woman might be more successful for them than
Mhm.
them. And they feel as though a man is supposed to be a man and a woman shouldn't outnumber them. So I
Mhm.
don't even know why men act like they don't like successful black women when all y'all do is live off of them.
I disagree with that. And half the women that come on your show, most of them entrepreneurs. The other half of them getting a realtor's license. Man, listen, the women that come on your show, nobody can prove what they really do for a living. Nobody can prove, they all come on, so they retired this, retired that. Who knows? Who knows? Nobody can prove it. But you can kind of see in the background, you can kind of look at, if you hear the fire alarms chirping off and whatnot. If you pay attention, you can tell if one of the chicks that come on our show really kind of like living the part or they just capping. So, nah, Kendra, nah, ain't nobody jealous of no dusty ass chick.
Y'all
Who,
live off of us.
you say
But
y'all,
go
Kendra?
ahead.
You okay? Respectfully, you group me in that. I don't do
Well,
reaction
no, you
videos, and I
are in that, because the fact of the
okay.
matter is you're on my show that was
Okay,
created
I'll
by a
deal with my
woman.
part. Okay, I'll,
So
I'll
so
deal with
so
my
you have
part.
to, so you should respect women who create things and are boss
Okay.
chicks. All you men say that, but yet y'all
Okay.
live off of us. So that's a
Okay.
stupid comment to
Okay.
me.
Okay. Fine. I
Kendra, let me tell you something. To keep it a buck, show me a woman that created something that everybody benefited from. Because by and large, I'm not saying women haven't created things, but when we start talking about created things that changed and revolutionized the human race, no, I'm sorry, but no, y'all create little stuff like, I'm not saying y'all don't create stuff because y'all do, but by and large, man, y'all ain't creating a significant. Sorry, but no, you're wrong there.
I'll deal with my part in that. First of all, I gave you initial props for what you created and what you've done. I think it's great. I'm not knocking you specifically. I know it's difficult to probably not interject yourself into this conversation. I'm not really talking to you. yet I'm talking to you. So I want to make that point. I'm not throwing shade at you, Ken. I don't roll like that. I don't throw rocks and hide my hand. So I want to make that very clear. I'm talking to these women who have so much mouth. If black people have so much, then why only we do we have 2% of wealth in this country? We don't have anything, Kendra. We don't own anything. If you really want to create generational wealth, like all of these black boss bras talk, shh, get married. That's how you create generational wealth through getting married. You marry, the Asians figured it out, the East Indians figured it out, the Mexicans figured it out, the whites figured it out.
All right, family. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up with this, but let me close with this. I agree with, man. I'm gonna tell you, I agree with like 90% of what 95% of what this brother's saying, and he dropping gems, and he's 100% right. You can't create generational wealth if you don't have a generation. That's why I hear women that don't have no kids, but they talking about create generational wealth. Well, who you creating for who? If you have no kids, no offsprings, who you gonna leave it to? Your nephews, your nieces. So there is a value in being married, in being successfully married in a successful relationship. But the problem is this: it is so dangerous getting married nowadays that a lot of successful men just don't want to take the chance. So hell, men that's making 30, $40,000, you don't even want to take a chance. So it's hard to create generational wealth when you don't, first of all, who are you, where's what generation are you creating it for? And are they gonna come from your loins? Second of all, is man, it's two heads are better than one. Like I said, I know a lot of successful black married couples. Yeah, is it difficult? Do they have their little ups and downs? But yeah, they do, but they're very wealthy and they did it together. But we talking about old heads. Man, I don't know nobody from, I know very few young 30, 40 married black couples that are successful. I just don't. So I agree with what he's saying when he says that everybody is figuring it out. Getting married is the key. You know what I'm saying? Get it being successfully married. I ain't saying just get married to no woman that's a hellraiser. I'm saying being successfully married to a woman that sees the value in being a bountiful, successful wife. But now, where I disagree with this brother is this: because of his previous life choices and circumstances, man, it's just gonna be difficult. And brother, all the women that you are describing with the lace front wigs, the neck tattoos, and the all the cake dome makeup, bro. That's predominantly all that's on this show. I done seen a couple sprinkled in here and there, a handful, maybe on one hand, that seem like decent women, but by and large, man, they d what you described is what they are. So I just don't know how you gonna have a successful outcome. Then you say you got women that's hitting you up on her app. Man, Imma have to be honest with you. I don't know that I will feel comfortable, with the fact of not judging you, but until you can get your circumstances from a financial standpoint in a, a decent place, I don't know if I'd be okay with you hollering at one of my female relatives. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. So if I think like that, I know damn well ain't no westernized woman gonna just rock with you. So when you say women hitting you up, I would be very, very curious as to what type of qualities that these women hold that's hitting him up knowing his circumstances. I'm not saying it's all about money and whatnot, but this man, damn, he in a shelter, so he is a banana peel from being homeless. Him and his little beautiful daughter. So the fact of the matter is, man, this is a cautionary tale, and it's a teachable moment. You got to make good decisions because you don't want to wind up in a situation like this brother. I wish him well. I wish him all the success that he may find. But when I look at the total circumstances and I look at everything and I analyze it, I said, man, it's gonna be difficult for him. And for him to find a quality woman, given his particular set of circumstances, that too is going to be just as difficult. What say you, family? I would love to hear your comments. Well, family, always remember be more tomorrow than you were yesterday.